folks, welcome to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis here at the Prepared Homestead. Today I'm making some grow boxes, hoop house, whatever you want to call them, for growing and getting some seedlings started and growing a few plants. And I wanted to show you a real cheap and easy way to do it. This is a common way that you find, and you can kind of cut corners a little bit if you're needing something really quick. And so for those of you, maybe you're starting out and you're needing something to get your seeds started. They're going to grow a lot better in some type of a greenhouse environment because most seeds need pretty good temperatures and moisture to germinate, and just leaving them out in the open, it takes a while for them to get to that. And if you have some type of greenhouse, hoop house, growing box, it will help the seeds germinate a lot faster and get your plants growing a lot quicker. So I wanted to show you a real cheap way that you can put one together to use around the homestead to get things growing really a lot faster. It kind of gives you a quick boost. Basically what I have here is this 5 foot by 8 foot. I've got two 2x4s running lengthwise, and I got a 10 foot 2x4. The length is 8 foot, so it's a 2x4 by 8, two of them. And then I have one 2x4 by 10, and I cut it in half. So this thing is 5 foot by 8 foot. And then I've got 5 of these 1/2 inch PVC pipes. They're 10 foot in length. And once you screw the ends together of the wood, they bend over just real nice. And then basically I have screwed the ends of the PVC into the wood. Then eventually, or here soon, I'm going to cover it in plastic, staple it down, and it makes it really lightweight to be able to kind of flip it up on the side every day to go in and water it. Of course, a full-blown greenhouse is obviously going to be better, but that takes a lot more money and a lot more time. And for those of you starting out, maybe you don't have the time and the money, and you really need something right now because you're getting kind of desperate about getting your plants growing for this season. I've talked about it a lot, that it's very critical, more now than ever, to become more and more food independent, to be self-sufficient when it comes to your food supply. The food supply is really starting to crumble. Last week, the United Nations was predicting famines of biblical proportions this summer, and the head of Tyson said today that we are watching the food chain, the United States food chain, fall apart before our eyes. It's crumbling before our eyes. So now more than ever, we need to be more food independent because prices are going to start skyrocketing for what is available, and there probably will be a lot of things that's just not available any longer, or for a very lengthy time period. So something like this you can throw together for $20 to $30. Probably the most expensive part is the plastic. Now this is where I've cut back on it this year. I happen to have some of this clear plastic sheeting lying around, more than enough to do this one. I can do several with this one. This is a little more than half of a roll. Now I know what many of you gardeners are going to say, this stuff is not going to last, and that's correct. This stuff is not going to stand up to the sun. It's going to deteriorate. It's as much thinner, and it doesn't have UV protection. But as long as it doesn't get hail damage and sticks and stuff falling on it, it will most likely last at least one growing season, at least enough to get your seeds growing to get them in the garden. And so I wanted to show you this option because the plastic a lot of times is the more expensive thing when you're throwing something like this together. The PVC is a few dollars a piece, the boards are a few dollars a piece, and a lot of you have some of this stuff already lying around. So some of you may be able to throw one together for free, but getting greenhouse plastic is a little bit more pricey. And if you can do that, that's fine. I try to always use it because it lasts a lot longer. It will withstand the UV rays, and it doesn't become brittle and tear easy, whereas this plastic will. But for something like this, I'm just needing it to really function for a few weeks, no more than a couple of months, to get things growing, to get them into the garden. And so if I'm in a time crunch and I don't have the money, this right here will work for the length of time that you're going to need that this season. Come next season, you're going to have to put new plastic on it. But if you're needing to get it up and going quickly, because you really need to get things growing, this will work. This type of plastic will work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing covered and stapled, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. All right, it's nearly finished, which is a good thing because it's getting ready to rain. Well, actually it is raining. I don't know if you can hear it. But it's stapled on. I gotta kind of tighten it up, make it look a little prettier, trim it up, but it's on and it will work. And they're really lightweight, so you can kind of tip them up, put your stuff there, or lay your stuff on the ground and cover it up with these. And then when you go to water, they're very lightweight to just kind of roll on its side or lift up with one hand and spray with the water hose with the other hand, and you basically have a growing box for your garden. And this will warm up quite a bit. Now, of course, there's nothing made for ventilation, so it's not going to work real well once summer hits, and then it's going to get too hot. But for right now, we're still in spring, and we're still dealing with cool days and cool breezes, which it's harder for seeds to germinate. So something like this is certainly going to up the temperature and up the humidity so that those seeds can germinate a whole lot faster, and the plants are going to get much more of a boost in growing, having a bit more of a constant temperature, especially when they're seedlings, which is the hardest time for them to grow. So just wanted to show you how simple and easy it has been to make. Putting the plastic on was harder than it needed to be, but like I said, it's starting to rain and we've got a little breeze coming through, so I was kind of fighting the plastic and the wind. But normally, something like this could easily be thrown together in 30 minutes or less. It's super simple, super easy, and very cheap. $20, $30 tops, and you can have something like this set up. And it's a 5 foot by 8 foot, so you can put a lot in it. And if you want, if you have some type of shelving system or something that's kind of short, anything like that, you can put quite a bit in it. But even if you just lay things directly on the ground, 5 foot by 8 is going to cover quite a bit. You can fit a lot in there. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how easy something like this is to make. And if you're growing things directly from seed, I assure you, having a system like this, they're going to grow a lot faster and a lot healthier than just have them setting out, kind of trying to grow on their own. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.